Now, let's give a little history about this magnificent town. First of all, it is one of the most famous of towns on the island, or what Google would say city. It is one of the most famous. Like, I've been to most places across the world, and everybody either know about or have been to this town at some point in their life. But of course, this is one of the very few places in Jamaica that entities like the Jamaica Tourist Board sells to the world. So no wonder why it's so famous. Tourism is the lifeline of this town. But with all the tourism, when it comes to infrastructural development, this town have not seen it much like, say, Montego Bay or Kingston. This is one of the many towns in Jamaica that was simply laid out as a village, not designed for the volume of vehicular traffic, commercial development, and population growth that we are seeing today. My very special guest, a Riosite, is right here beside me, and I will introduce her after the intro. I am your resident host, Bro, and we are here in the series Redesigning Our Townships right here on Design Jamaica. Like St. Anne's Bay, like Black River, like Old Harbor, like May Pen, we are back in the parish of St. Anne to redesign the town of Ocho Rios into a future city.
From Spanish Town down to Montego Bay, well, Caribbean streams to the making, steel and stone never breaking. From the sand to the sky we elevate, Design Jamaica dominate.
So, before we head into the redevelopment of Ocho Rios into a city, I did plan on giving you a brief history about the town before we came to the intro. However, I didn't, but I'm going to do so now. Well, I'm sure most of us should know by this that the name Ocho Rios is a Spanish name which means 8 rivers in English. Of course, by this most of us would know basic Spanish, like how to count from at least 1 to 10 in Spanish. So yes, most of us would know that Ocho means 8. Now, it is said that after Christopher Columbus discovered Jamaica in 1494, the Spanish discovered a mighty waterfall which is now known as Dunn's River Fall. At that time, they called it Las Chararas. Centuries after, the British arrived and heard the Spanish calling this little area Las Chararas, but due to their strange Spanish dialect, the British actually thought they said Ocho Rios, which means 8 rivers. And remember, at no point in life Ocho Rios had 8 rivers. Ocho Rios actually had 4 rivers, one of them being the remnants of what is now known as Fern Gully. But in truth, this area have never had 8 rivers. So Las Chararas was the name the Spanish gave the area, but the British mistakenly called it Ocho Rios, after which the British fully took over Jamaica as a colony, and the name Ocho Rios remains permanent until today. And Ocho Rios is actually one of 5 major towns or cities in Jamaica that have a Spanish name. The others being Santa Cruz, Port Antonio, Sabna La Mar, and of course Villa de la Vega, in English simply known as Spanish Town. And joining us today is a teacher of Ocho Rios High, a former hotel receptionist. Yes. For those who watch our X series Kim Curious back in 2023, you would have seen her. Check it out over on Jamtars as a hotel receptionist. Well, she's not that anymore. She's now a teacher. Let's welcome the lovely LaQuisha Brown.
LaQuisha.
Oh yes, LaQuisha. Welcome to Design Jamaica, LaQuisha.
You're welcome.
And you are a Riosite, right?
Yes.
You were born in Ocho Rios, right?
Born and bred.
You said you were born in Ocho
I was
Rios.
born in Ochi.
We're gonna have to talk about that later because there's no hospital in Ocho Rios.
I was born in Ocho
So you're
Rios.
gonna have to explain to me and everybody else how you born in Ochi.
No problem, I'll explain.
But you're a Riosite.
Yes,
and
I'm a Riosite.
The demonym of Ocho Rios, guys, is not Ocho Rian. It is not Ocho Riosite. It is Riosite.
Yes,
so you
we
drop
are
the Ocho
Riosites.
and you're just a Riosite if you are from Ocho Rios, yes, or born there.
And lots of people born there.
Even though the hospital not there. But anyway, so let me give you the demonyms for the other town that we have covered before now as well. So for Black River, you are a Riverian. So you drop the black and you are a Riverian.
Riverian.
And if you are from Maypen, you are a Maypenite.
A Maypenite.
Yes, a Maypenite.
Okay.
If you are from St. Anne's Bay, you're an Annite. Just like the parish, you're an Annite.
So you drop the saint?
Certainly.
Yes.
You drop the saint
Okay,
because
Annite.
what many people don't know that the saint is just a title. It's not really a part of the name. It is just a title like St. Anne, St. Peter, St. Paul, St. Andrew. They are just titles. They are not really names. So that's the reason why even in postal codes, if you're using postal codes, you can't say SA. You just have to say AN.
Okay, I really never take note.
Here, because the saint are really just a title. So
Okay.
now you know. So LaQuisha, with the growth that we have been seeing in your town, your city, Ochi, Ocho Rios in recent times, I mean, tell us briefly about the latest trend development wise within Ocho Rios today, because we know there have been quite a lot of things happening within Ocho Rios. And when I say Ocho Rios, I don't mean Jaxhall.
No.
Jaxhall is not Ochi, okay? And we're gonna get into that later. But tell us what has been happening within the town of Ocho Rios.
In terms of commercial development, we're seeing that quite a few, but mostly residential, because as you know, Airbnb
Yes.
is a big thing in
Oh
Ochi now.
yes, Airbnb. Yes, that's so
everybody
true.
wants to
Yes,
build an
it is a
Airbnb
big thing in Ochi.
for some reason or the other. But when it comes to residential development that focus mostly on that, we are seeing a lot of that being happening. On the commercial side,
Yes.
yes, we're seeing a few more shopping centers, a few more new gas stations growing up, and a lot of those things are happening in and around the town of Ochi. Infrastructural development, not so much, because we are not seeing anything new in terms of new roads or the upgrading of roads. We are not seeing that happening. So I'm eager to see what you have in store in terms of development.
In terms of redesigning Ochi.
the town.
Okay,
Yeah.
LaQuisha, we're not going to waste any time. We're going to get straight to it. But indeed, just like we explained a while ago, LaQuisha, where all the different amenities and the needs that Ocho Rios really need to move, into the future as a city, as a developed city. We notice where a lot of new things are going up, hotels, and
Yes.
we see new housing schemes, and all of these things are going up. But yet the infrastructure, especially the road infrastructure of the town, is
Like outdated,
like back in the
yes,
day,
they need to be
And
updated.
so we're seeing they are building, but they are still building wrong because the town have been badly laid out from day one. Nothing much has really changed since the town was laid out, centuries ago, either due to poor town planning or due to the geography surrounding Ocho Rios. Because as you know, Ocho Rios is one of those towns in Jamaica with a very interesting geography.
You got a point.
So all of these certainly has to be taken into consideration. Now, one thing that should be noted about Ocho Rios, even though it is slated to be one of the fastest growing urban areas in Jamaica, its population is not as large as many seems to believe. As you know, Ocho Rios has a large business district. That's right, the CBD is quite impressive. As you know, with those large and tall hotel towers on the waterfront, of course, the cruise ship piers, large and modern shopping malls, duty-free shopping areas, craft markets, large recreational parks, not to mention major attractions such as Duns River, Konoko Falls, and many others, all giving it the feel of a mid-sized to large Jamaican standard city, making many believe that Ocho Rios' population is very large, but it's not. I mean, the commercial life of the city is large, but it doesn't have that much people for a town of its stature. Now, to give you a prime example, Ocho Rios' current population is just over 18,000 residents, like literally 18,000 residents. It not even make top 10 of the largest city or town in Jamaica, which means it has a very meager population compared to other townships such as Old Harbour, Maypen, Mandeville, or even Linstead, which is seen as less important or less impactful than Ocho Rios. And just to give you a prime example, the town of Old Harbour has roughly 30,000 people living in it. Ocho Rios has less than 18,000, and Ocho Rios has 2 KFCs, and Old Harbour only have 1. So it just goes to show you that the tourism product is seen as way more important than the average Jamaican. Sad, but truth. I mean, I googled the list of largest cities and towns in Jamaica, and Ocho Rios don't even show up on the thing. I mean, it's just quite obvious that, it's not a very large place. In population, that is. So it is large in stature, development-wise, but when it comes to people living within the limits of Ocho Rios, not now go on this one. Even though Google did not have that answer to give us, but we here at Design Jamaica did our math, and based on this population, we would place Ocho Rios somewhere at number 12 or 11. Yeah, like just ahead of Port Antonio, right behind Yuatan. Ocho Rios is a part of the wider Ocho Rios to Boscobel conurbation area, which also takes in the suburbs of LaQuisha. This one is for you.
So Rio Nuevo and what the town was Oracabessa, yeah. I was trying to
you forget. Indeed. So the Ocho Rios, this metro area stretches all the way from where Duns River is, all the way back to Oracabessa in St. Mary. So which means that most of this metro area lies within the parish of St. Mary than it is in St. Anne. And even though that's the case, everything along this corridor lies within the shadow of the great, big, and bad Ocho Rios, including this little guy right here. Yes, which the people of St. Mary is not so happy about being called Ocho Rios. But as you know, because of its world-renowned tourism fame, Ocho Rios has to be marketed on this airport based on its nearby proximity. And the people of St. Mary have to just suck it up, whether them like it or not. I know me say so, blame it on them too over there. So anyway, big up to the people of St. Mary at your airport too. Plus you don't know how it going in Jamaica, them I go choose the tourists them over on anyway. I like me I tell. Moving on. Like other cities, Ocho Rios also has its niche industries, and the main industries of Ocho Rios is
tourism.
Okay, tourism and
tourism.
And
tourism.
And okay.
Tourism.
So that's it. Ocho Rios has no more industry.
No.
Tourism is the only thing Ocho know about. As you know, when it comes to tourism, Ocho Rios comes in at number 2. Only behind Montego Bay, which means that out of every other city or town in Jamaica, Ocho Rios has the second most resorts and hotels. Not to mention attractions, Ocho Rios has quite a few of them, such as the world's famous Duns River Falls, where the history of Ocho Rios is literally rooted, followed by its little sister, Little Duns River Falls, Conoco Falls, Turtle River Park, Fern Gully, the old Spanish Bridge on the White River, the Blue Hole, Mystic Mountain, Island Village, and the Ocho Rios Bay Beach, among others. So Ocho Rios' tourism product really stand tall, making it one of the wealthiest city or town in Jamaica. Thanks to other spin-off industries from tourism like real estate. Yes, it's a big thing in Ocho now. I mean, investors buying up all these new modern houses and luxury apartments like crazy and turning them into Airbnbs. I mean, on the city amount of cranes putting up tall buildings in recent times. That tells it all. Plus, the town has a port for cruise ships called the Ocho Rios Cruise Terminal. Plus, another little pier nearby that has nothing to do with tourism. It's called the Reynolds Pier, and they import things like where them import LaQuisha?
Well, first of all, bro, the entire thing is called the Reynolds Pier. Both the cruise part and the industrial part. It's just that the cruise part is called the Ocho Rios Cruise Terminal, but the other part is simply known as Reynolds Pier. They use the export. They don't import, but they use to export bauxite and other raw materials. They still do today, not bauxite, but other stuff. Yeah.
Okay, well, me never know that. Well, not because my name bro, and not because we're Design Jamaica, we don't always know it all. That's the reason why we get persons like her to come on this program to tell us more. Okay, so yes. Now, like we outlined before, the town of Ocho Rios has a very special and interesting geography, especially to the southwest and to the south. Because to the south we have the Fern Gully, and to the southwest we have the world's famous Duns River Falls, which has a very interesting watershed, which I'm sure none of us would want to touch or mess with based on the very imperative stature that this waterfall has on the world stage. This is the reason why we don't see where Draxall will be merging with Ocho Rios. It's not gonna happen, guys. I know you all believe that and you really want to call Draxall Ocho Rios, but the natural ecological geography of this area will not allow that to happen. So that is the reason why we see where Draxall will be merging with St. Anne's Bay, and Ocho Rios will be merging eastward toward Tower Isle and Boscobel. And as you know, when you are in Ocho Rios and you're looking anywhere south away from the coast, you're looking at hills, lots of hills, which makes it difficult for the town to expand anywhere south or west of these hills, leaving the only option but to expand eastward towards St. Mary. Now, so far, Ocho Rios does not have a very interesting CBD. I mean, the town is like way back in the day. It is not properly designed, but because there's not much space for the town to expand anywhere east or southward, so we just have to work with what's there. And I think the layout of this CBD, it's not bad, it's not the best, but it can go on. As you can see, there's a proper grid in some areas, and especially within the residential areas of Ocho Rios. Yes, you can see there are some grids going on there, and also within the market district, things are not looking so bad. There's a lot of room for improvement, but in terms of building a brand new CBD for Ocho Rios, I really don't think that's needed, so we can work with what's there now. Certainly the road infrastructure within the city need to be upgraded and expanded, and of course Ocho Rios needs a proper bypass. And I'm not talking just from, you know, where Highway 2000 ends in Miami Bay to Prospect, just outside Ochi. I'm talking about a proper bypass that bypasses the entire area from Miami Bay all the way to Port Maria in St. Mary, cutting through some of those hills, running south of Tower Isle, Boscobel or Rocabessa, and terminating in Port Maria, just north of Port Maria. Of course, with exit ramps for Tower Isle and Boscobel, especially concerning that we will be needing a direct access from this highway to the Ian Fleming International Airport, and of course intersecting with Milford Road just south of Fern Gully for direct access to, which would be downtown Ocho Rios, the CBD. So with that said, we are not here to build a brand new CBD for Ocho Rios, though. We are not here to do that, because as you can see, Ocho Rios do not need a brand new CBD. So we are going to concentrate on linking Ocho Rios proper with Tower Isle in this area right here around the St. Mary Country Club. So we're going to be filling out this area, and we're literally going to urbanize this area to merge Tower Isle with the rest of Ocho Rios as one big city. Okay, so first of all, what we're going to do is this little plot of land right here within the White River area, we are going to, it's just right behind that huge gas station, that new gas station that they have just built right there. Behind it, these lands can be used for a massive park, and we're going to call it the White River Park, because this is within the White River area, so we can call it the White River Park. So that's the first thing. Alright, so now that we have the park, we're going to now go over the border into St. Mary and start and expand Ocho Rios eastward. And Lucretia, can guess me what this area will be called?
What, Tower Isle?
No.
New Tower Isle?
No.
Then I want me to know.
This area will be called New Ochi.
New Ochi?
New Ochi, not New Ocho Rios, no, New Ochi.
Why New Ochi?
Because this is a new part of Ocho Rios, and we want to Jamaicanize it by just saying Ochi, just like how we Jamaicans call the town Ochi. That's the nickname for Ocho Rios. So yeah, why not just use the nickname New Ochi?
Makes sense,
yes. Right? Yeah.
This reminds me of something you did for Maypen.
Yes, for Maypen, yes. New Maypen, yes, the same thing. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, something similar to that. Mm-hmm.
Yes, that's right. The only difference is that we are not creating a new downtown for Ocho Rios. We are just expanding on, you know, the commercial and residential life of Ocho Rios east.
Indeed, and what you can't forget, bro, is that you have a lot of hills to deal with in this area. So how we're gonna maneuver that?
Don't rush your thing, Lucretia. We're gonna get to all of it. We're gonna show you everything what we're gonna do and how we're gonna maneuver the hilly interiors of this area.
Okay.
And back to the name part, I know this is what they call, some people call Prospect. I think this is where the Ocho Rios bypass should meet the A1 highway somewhere here. But well, A3, is it A3 or A1?
I don't remember.
Yes.
I think it's A1.
But we are not going to call it Prospect because Jamaica have a will for Prospect. You can't find a Prospect in almost every parish. That name is not so.
You're right.
Yeah.
It's not a cool
It's not
name.
a cool name. So yeah, New Ocho.
I was
that we are
just
going.
about to say the same.
Yes,
thing,
sweetie,
yes.
that's what it's going to be. So now we're going to design New Ocho. Unlike the previous episodes that we've done, where we design and then narrate after, we are going to design while narrating. So we're not going to leave you with the music playing. As we design, we are going to explain to you the map. Yes. Okay, so this stretch of road is Route A3, not the A1. The A1 is further west. This is the A3. So the first thing we're going to do is to upgrade this 2-lane highway into a boulevard, which it will be called the Prospect Boulevard because it's within the Prospect area. So it will be called Prospect Boulevard. At least 3 lanes of traffic with the off-ramp to the Ocho Rios bypass that should come into this area. Even though the government said it will be ending here, but I'm going to expand this road further eastward into Port Maria. That is what I'm going to do. But there's a future separate video for that which we will talk about. So right now we're going to put in the housing developments. As Lucretia, you intimated earlier on that it is a hilly area. So yes, we are designing the housing developments to suit the terrain. And of course along the boulevard is the commercial life. So shopping malls and probably more hotels, different resorts, guest houses would be along this area. Currently, Ocho Rios does not have an hospital of its own. So yes, we're going to put in a hospital somewhere along here, along the boulevard. And further up into the hills, we're going to put in a cemetery because you must have a cemetery. So a hospital and a cemetery for a city of this magnitude, we need those. Not too far away, we have St. Anne's Bay Hospital, which is a type B hospital and is the main hospital within this region, the Northeast region. So this hospital that we're building in Ocho Rios would not need to be a type B or a type A. It could be a type C. We could settle for a type C. Back to infrastructure. Along the boulevard, we have more traffic lights for roads like the Retreat Road, which would be upgraded. And then we're going to go further east. Lucretia, your input.
Okay, well, first of all, I'm all about education, so we're going to put in another high school because currently we only have Marcus Garvey Technical and Ochi High. As you know, Ocho Rios is expanding. It is becoming a city, so we're going to need more institutions to meet the demands of our growing population and the children in particular. So we're going to put in a high school. It will be called the Prospect High School. We're going to go with the old name, the name of the old community Prospect. Probably 2 primary schools, maybe 4 basic schools, and of course, for higher learning, for higher education, I think we should have our own university as well. I'm not sure if it would be here or further west into Ocho Rios proper, but we certainly do need a university, so I'm just going to put one here. It doesn't have to be here, but I'm going to put one here. And I think it should be called Northern Jamaica University, NJU. Yes. Or having one of the existing universities having a campus here, like it could be UWI or UTEC, having a campus for Ocho Rios right here. So it could be that or our own university. And concerning Reggae Beach, there's a big problem about the government selling out our beaches to foreign investors. So we want this beach to remain a public beach. And let me repeat, a public beach for the people. We don't want them sell it out to the foreign investors. Us as Jamaicans need to have access to our public beaches, and it's the same thing as you intimated earlier on, bro, when you said the tourism brand seems to be more important than the average Jamaican based on how the government reacts and how they
develop for tourists but not for the average Jamaican. Yes, that's a problem.
In this case, I do believe that beaches like Reggae Beach, public beaches like Reggae Beach should remain public for the people to access. We don't want no big hotel chain or any one of those big investors to come and buy it out. Reggae Beach is not for sale. It is for us, the Jamaican people, to enjoy. We don't want to become landlocked. We need somewhere to enjoy ourselves too. Moving on, bro.
Lucretia, I see your passion. You couldn't have said it better, trust me. Okay, so as we get closer to Tower Isle, we can see we're filling out these empty lots right here. We probably could put in another recreational park. I'm thinking something like an amusement park, something like the Mystic Mountain, but not exactly like a Mystic Mountain. I'm thinking something more like a Six Flags. We need a Six Flags in Jamaica, something like that, a proper amusement park. Since the Coney Park days, we have not had anything like that in Jamaica. We need back something like that. So this area part of this area could be developed for something like that. An amusement park. Six Flags, you probably need to think about opening up a Six Flags over Jamaica. Currently they have Six Flags over Georgia, Six Flags over Texas, Six Flags Mystic Mountain and all of that. It would be good if we get a company like Six Flags to open up, one of their amusement parks right here in Ocho Rios. Jamaica should not only be about seashore, sand, fancy hotel rooms and waterfalls. There should be a variety of different type of attractions for people to enjoy. In this case, that does not include water. I know we are the land of without water, but really every single type of attraction does not have to be water.
So with that said, here is a map of the entire city of Ocho Rios and its communities. And of course to the east we have its suburbs. First we have Rio Noya, and then we have Boscobel where the airport is. After Boscobel is Aracabessa, and then we have Galena to the very far east end of Metro Ocho Rios before we get into Port Maria. And just to add to that is Design Jamaica's alignment of the Ocho Rios bypass. We think it should bypass the entire metro and terminate just north of Port Maria right here, because we do believe it makes better sense.
Instead of terminating in Prospect, indeed.
Yeah.
In terms of the city government, now in Ocho Rios' case, this one is kind of tedious because the city will be sitting in two separate parishes, St. Anne and St. Mary. So in this case, we have to implement for Ocho Rios what we've implemented for Old Harbour, where city is totally separate from parish. So which means neither the parish councils, the municipal councils of St. Anne and St. Mary will have jurisdiction over Ocho Rios. So like Old Harbour, Ocho Rios will have the same system, and as from now on we are going to officially naming the two systems of government that we've implemented for the various towns. Now for Old Harbour we have this system, and we have the different system for Black River where you have the mayor. The mayor is a part of the municipal corporation but is directly elected by the people. So that's the Black River model. That is the type of system that we've implemented for the parish capitals like Black River, Maypen, St. Anne's Bay, because these are parish capitals. So this model works best for the parish capitals because it's not just the parish capital, the town you're talking about. You're really talking about the extension of the parish. Now that's the Black River model. On the other hand, the Old Harbour model, where city is separated from parish. In this case, the city has its own mayor and government and is totally separated from the rest of the parish system. In the nation of Ocho Rios, now sitting within two separate parishes, this is what would have to be implemented for Ocho Rios. So the two councillors that is now serving, one for the Ocho Rios division in the St. Anne Northeast constituency and the St. Anne Municipal Corporation, and the other over in the St. Mary Municipal Corporation for the Tower Isle division, and within the constituency of St. Mary Western would now be sitting within the Ocho Rios municipality and no longer within the St. Anne or St. Mary Municipal Corporation. So this leaves us with just two councillors. Ocho Rios is a growing city, and we should add at least two more. But in this case, we want five. So we are dividing Ocho Rios into 5 municipal divisions. We have Duns River, Ocho Rios proper, White River, New Ochi, and Tower Isle. Lucretia, briefly explain how Rio sites will elect their council and mayor.
Okay, no problem, bro. So the 5 municipal divisions would elect their 5 councillors respectively, serving a 3-year term. After each local government election in Jamaica, the party with the majority of councillors would then choose their mayor randomly.
So that's it.
That's it.
So this mayor would not directly be elected by the people. They would, just like how it is right now in the current parish system.
Yes,
it would basically be the same thing.
Yes. The only difference is, unlike the current parish system, this mayor would have a smaller geographical area, a smaller jurisdiction to look over, which would be more effective.
Interesting. I see you were really planning this one out.
Well, maybe.
Okay, Lucretia, me need to talk to you when it's done.
Stop it now.
I didn't even touch you.
I don't want you to look at me.
I'm gonna look at you. No. You know, easy. Anyway, so what about you guys? What do you think about the whole concept of the plan? Do you think that this will work for Ochi? And with the town now going eastward, do you think the government will actually merge Tower Isle and Ocho Rios into one city?
And let me address that, bro, before we go or before you move on to something else. In terms of Tower Isle merging with Ochi,
Yep.
geographically, I do think it looks better and it would look better on the map to see both, because as you can see, Tower Isle is moving eastward.
You mean Ochi is going eastward?
Is going eastward
Yes.
into Tower Isle. So I really do think it would be best for Tower Isle to merge with Ocho Rios, but I think most people want to see Ocho Rios merging with Draxall.
Yes,
but Draxall is moving westward towards San Antonio.
Yes, yes, indeed, Lucretia. And I do think the reason for that is that, because of the pedigrees and accolades that comes with Draxall and Ocho Rios itself, because as you know, not Nagwan for St. Anne's Bay. St. Anne's Bay is really just an historic town lane by itself up there. So yeah, people don't really want to see Draxall merging with St. Anne's Bay. They want to more see it merging with Ocho Rios.
Right. Yes, you're
but
right.
on the geographical side, Draxall is merging with St. Anne's, is going towards St. Anne's Bay, and Ocho Rios is going towards Tower Isle, and that is the fact, and them just have to accept it.
Yes,
That's how
bro.
it is.
And more on the geographical side, as you know, the Duns River watershed is right between Ocho Rios and Draxall.
Right between
so
both places, yes, indeed.
people, as you know, the Duns River Falls is a world famous Duns River Fall. You think NEPA
Yes.
is going to give anybody the go ahead to build in that area? So no.
There is literally too much tourism value that comes with that attraction for them to do that.
Yes.
Anyway, Lucretia, okay, I whisper something like this.
Well, yes, are we up to know?
Sure,
Yes.
come closer.
Okay. All right.
Me can't come here tonight.
Like us, bro.
What for you tonight? We always find out easy. So, bro, why you running? That mean you're guilty. Know yourself, man. Just keep it up, bro. Keep it up. Keep it up, bro.
Lucretia, go
Keep
on.
it up.
Whoa,
Because I'm going to divorce your ass and take up a snowbody. You think I joke me, I make? Where you still are there? You not run? A matter of fact, you're not going to wait. Turn up protest and I'm going to bust your ass. Stop this ass.
No, come.
Then again, Tony, but more Jamaica in the world to see your ass and get bust your like man. Bridget, you know worth it. You know what? Go on. Just go on. Go on. Yes. And you, Mr. Cameraman, yes, Junior. Where are telling for run for?
Bridget, what you mean?
That means to say you're in league with where I do.
But me can't stand up and allow you to spoil up the content. You can't know that. Bridget.
Anyway, but no, you don't worry yourself, Junior. Don't worry yourself. As from now on, me I go being in special guest. You know, get because Mr. say you don't want to get no male and a pay female with just a short skirt to get.
Boy.
They said, bro, babe, you don't always have to get a female guest. You can get males as well. You think get a male all now?
Real?
And it's now 4 episodes into the series. But don't worry yourself. Me, I go being guest for the next episode and the other episodes to come. And me name wifey. Which turn up for redevelopment?
Oh, hold on, let me know. At 7 of tomorrow, no?
Sav. Okay. So we are going to redesign Sav. I'm going to be his special guest. Mistress Bridget McIntyre Curious. Look out. Design Jamaica, redesigning our townships. Sav. Junior, me and you we talk, yeah? This has been Design Jamaica. If you or anyone you know are about content like these and would love to share more content like this one on the wide-scale development across Jamaica, please go ahead and like, share, and subscribe to DJC, Design Jamaica and the Caribbean. Leave a comment and please turn on your post notification bell so you can be notified whenever new content like these are out showcasing massive developments across Jamaica. And I'm sorry for bringing my personal life on here, but my husband give me trouble. It is not as juicy and rosy as it seems to be with our marriage. If you don't really want to see what's going on between me and the bastard, please go over to our sister channel, Jamtars, and watch The Curious House. You will see everything there. The link is posted in the description below or right here on the screen. I promise I won't do that on the next episode because I know they never come after that. So until next time, my wonderful viewers and subscribers, thank you for watching. Brought to you by Films by Jawade. Follow us on all social media platforms.